How's it going, guys? Deans here and welcome to another FIFA 20 video. Today we should hopefully have some more Team of the Season content. It is just about struck 6 o'clock, so let's take a little look at what we've got. Hopefully a nice SBC. Christian Guanca. So I think this is what was teased on the screen yesterday. And I believe that the Saudi League is now out, and by the looks of it, it probably is. It looks like a really nice card, especially with 93. Like, the stats are really good. Stat looks very good, but 3-star for me just isn't quite it. We have got Premier League upgrade packs though, repeatable for 3 days. That is going to be something to grind through, and not much else. Let's take a look to see though if we've got ourselves an objective card. We do. We've got a Team of the Season so far Romarinho card, and this card looks very nice. 92 pace, 89 dribbling, 88 shooting, 82 passing, and 79 physical. Will be very interesting to take a look at this card a bit further. Wonder what his skill moves. I feel like this one is probably one with quite high skill moves and hopefully a good weak foot. But let's take a look at the objectives. Score 3 separate squad battles matches on professional difficulty or in rivals using Saudi League players. Not bad whatsoever. Score 2 goals in 2 separate squad battles matches on world class or rivals using players with minimum 85 pace. Again, a very easy one. Assist to goal in 3 separate rivals matches using players with minimum 4-star skill moves. Very easy one for me, for definite. Not a hard one at all to do. And score an assist in 4 rivals wins using Brazilian players. So very easy, to be honest. If you wanted to, you could probably do this all at once. There are a bunch of players, especially Brazilian players. If you've got any of the good Brazilian players, this one's going to be very easy for you, to say the least. This one, generally, they are very easy. Most people by now have got in their squads at least someone with 4-star skills. So you could easily do that in rivals. It's just assists. It's nothing too difficult. Scoring 2 goals in 2 separate squad battles matches or rivals. Again, these probably will come hand in hand. You'll probably find a large majority of players that are 4-star skill moves plus usually have decent pace. It's quite common, not all the time of course, but you probably will find most of your players will come hand in hand with that. So I just recommend doing those two together. Scoring 3 separate squad battles matches using Saudi League players. Now, one thing that's going to be really interesting to look at is the actual Saudi League Team of the Season, to see who's in there, because I feel like there could be probably quite a few players in there that would be very helpful towards this. So it'd be worth looking, and I'm sure with lightning rounds coming out and all that, they're going to be very cheap, just like the EFL was. And again, this one, I think the best thing to do is get for a Brazilian player. I'm wondering if there's any other Brazilian players in the Saudi League. We'll take a look at that in just a second to see if we could tie this all together. But if not, you just have to score an assist or a Brazilian player. All you have to do, really, score with your Brazilian player. Ideally, if they have 4-star skills, then brilliant. If you assist to someone with 85 pace, that works out pretty well there. And if that's a Saudi League player with 85 pace, you kind of tie it in together there. If you have a Brazilian and a Saudi League player up front, you should be pretty good to go. But that looks like it's pretty much it for content today. Would like to see the Saudi League Team season. So there's the most part of it, and there's some fantastic players in there. Hamdallah looks very good. Giovinco looks very good in there. Gomes looks very good. That Anselmo is another one, especially when you need a Brazilian. And some of them actually generally look very good. And I remember this last time. I guess we're not looking at that anymore. So stay home, play together screen. I remember from last year's Team of the Season with the Saudi League, there were some very, very good players amongst them. So for me, I think there's going to be a good few options. To be honest with you, I might try and get my hands on that Gomes. Then that works out pretty well for me in this setup. I've got Pele here, who obviously have 5-star skill moves. I've got Socrates with 4-star skill moves. Doesn't quite have the pace though, unfortunately. But Pele, at least I can get the skill moves part of him done here. Obviously, not all of you are going to have Pele, so there are other options. So realistically, what we want to look at is we want to look at Brazilian strikers and just see. I want to look at concepts, not my club. See what we've got lurking about. Obviously, none of these. That Joe, it's the J League, so probably not. But some people might have him. That was a player moments Joe, which was obviously an SBC before. Not a terrible one. Or I think he might have been an objective, actually. Getterson, is that a new card? I don't know if this is a new card or not. Might take a little look. That's a Portuguese league. Not 100% sure if that's a new card. I don't recognise that card. Maybe I'm wrong. And I feel like I probably am, because I think they would have brought out a team season. That one looks fairly new. But in saying that, there's not a huge amount of high-end players. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. If you can afford it, you got Richarlison there, who's about 1 million coins. Again, if you can afford that. If you've got this winter refresh, Cunha, very big one to get this done. 89 pace, 4-star skill moves, gets the job done with most of those. And you could just tie him in together. I don't believe Cunha is a very expensive player, to be honest with you. I think he's fairly cheap. I'll just take a quick look on Footbin and see how much he's running at. I'm sure he was at 100k before team this season. He's now gone up. He's 180k, so it's 180k. I don't usually like to spend a lot of coins to get this get objectives done. I try to avoid it where I can. Maybe this Gabriel Jesus. I don't think he'd be too expensive. I wonder if like a lot of these have gone up though since. So it's Inform Jesus. Some of you might have his honor. I was about to say some of you might have his Footmus. I remember that one didn't actually ever get released. 38k for this card. I probably wouldn't mind paying that. Not an awful one to do whatsoever. You could probably get him in there and you could get some good links in, and you could just get a nice Saudi League player. So what we might take a little look at is some of the Saudi League players. Am I going to be able to find this? There it is, Saudi League. So let's look at special and see what we got here. So obviously that's the new one. I feel like these are probably all the strikers. So let's take a look at Hamdallah. Doesn't actually have 4-star skills, which I'm sure I should have known. But still, a very nice card. Gomes, again, this one's almost perfect to get those objectives done. Has 4-star skills, but doesn't have the pace. But this one looks not bad whatsoever. I feel like these will be cheap as well. Gomes might be a little bit more. But I feel like on the most part, these will be fairly cheap. I suppose what I want to look at is some of the other ones as well. You got Giovinco here. Absolutely perfect. Get almost all of them done apart from the Brazilian. So this could be a huge one. I just feel like Giovinco's probably going to be expensive. I wonder if there's any of him on the market. 700k according to Footbin at the moment. So probably not one that's ideal. And Selmo doesn't get most of it done, but has 85 paces and it's Brazilian. And that's looking like on the most part. I mean, you've got this Petros, not awful. Souza. Not a terrible card either. That's a team of season Mycon. That card looks pretty nice. Not bad at all. Fairly good stats as well. Balance isn't great, but a decent card to say the least. And obviously at the same time, we've got some upgrade packs out there as well, which is not bad whatsoever. All in all, a pretty simple one. To be fair, I think really I'd be expecting a fairly easy objective with the Saudi League. This player's not going to be the easiest to link into squads, so I think EA are probably quite aware of that, which is why this one isn't too difficult at all. Thank God we haven't got any more crosses or anything like that, because I just honestly hate doing crosses. For me, I'm going to spend a lot of time getting these two completed today. I haven't really made a start on these due to Weekend League, but we'll be getting a start on those. Probably tie that in together. I'm sure if you haven't already, you could start with some of these. Like this with La Liga forwards. As long as you get a La Liga forward with 85 pace and 4-star skills, that's going to tie two of those in together. So normally what I do is with a lot of these objectives, I can get them all done at once. And if I can tie these in as much as I can, I usually do that. So if you aren't like me and you want to try and tie them in together, there's many ways you probably do it. Like I said, this one here, if there was a Brazilian forward from La Liga with 4-star skills, that would be perfect. Not sure off the top of my head there will be. But still, you could go with the likes of, say, like Dembele, and you could get the 4-star skills and the 85 pace done easily. Score finesse shots. So if you've got a Liga NOS player that's with 4-star skills and 85 pace, and you'll be able to get that one done. So there's a bunch here that you could probably tie in together. Same with this this Perez card as well. There'll be a bunch of stuff here that you'll be able to tie in together, and genuinely looks fairly easy. But what I want to know, if you let me know in the comment section below, will you be completing this card? For me, at the moment, I think what I kind of want to look at, though I'm trying to bear in mind that there's going to be SBCs coming out, this card could potentially be worth the time put in just to have an 89 rated card to go into SBCs without me spending any coins. But at the same time, I do try to have a little think to myself whether or not these cards are going to be worth the time. Because say, for example, you had Laporte, which came out. For me, that card wasn't worth it whatsoever. It was a lot of effort and a lot of time to go into that. And he just wouldn't get anywhere near my squad. He'd just be SBC fodder. And for me, that time was probably better spent somewhere else, especially with team season there. You want to build up rivals and you want to get your rivals rewards in. So for me, I just felt that my time was probably better spent somewhere else. But let me know in the comment section below if this is a card you'll be picking up. Let me know as well if you're going to be doing any of those BPL packs. I think I'll do a couple. I don't want to dive too far into it and pick up too many of them, but I will just give it a try out of the novelty of it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like. If you're brand new, subscribe. Apart from that, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.